Hey everyone, welcome to this channel. My name is Alex. Today's session is going to be a well-rounded yoga practice. I'm gonna build up a little bit of heat also because it's pretty cold where I am right now and also a bit windy, so I am hoping that the wind won't blow my mat away since it's just a travel mat. Let's see how it goes. You have the option to grab a couple of blocks and a yoga belt. It's always a good idea to support the body, but it's completely optional. Okay, so once you rolled out your mat and grabbed your props, let's start in a seated position. Finding that neutral back. Let's take one deep inhale. Then as you exhale, slowly close your eyes. Softening the body a bit further if you can. Starting to notice the weight of your body. Notice any obvious sensations in the body. Could be physical or something more emotional. And remember not to judge. Have no opinions about whatever you find. Simply be the observer. And then shifting your attention towards your breath. Completely natural breath. In and out through your nose. And let's bring our hands together in front of the heart. Here you have the option to set an intention for your day, your practice. Lowering the hands back to your legs, lifting the head if you bowed. Gently blinking your eyes open again. Starting to deepen your breath. Maybe adding on that ujjayi breath. With the next inhale, reaching your arms up towards the sky. Exhale, circling down your hands to the mat again. One more time, inhale, reaching up. Exhale, circling your hands back down to the mat. Let's do one last time. Exhale, circle your hands down onto the mat. Keep your left hand on the mat as you inhale, then reach your right arm up towards the ceiling. Exhale, bend over to the left. Inhale, open up the chest slightly up towards the sky. You have the option to keep the left arm bent with the elbow towards the body or walk the hands further away from you. Keep breathing. Opening up the right ribs. Now with the next inhale, reach your arm up, lengthen the spine. Exhale, lower the right hand back onto the mat. Inhale, reach the left arm overhead, lengthen the spine. Exhale, bend to the right. Inhale, turn your chest up towards the ceiling. Choose the variation you want to keep with your right arm. And breathe deeply. Keep both sits bone grounded onto the mat. And then as you inhale again, reach up towards the center here. Exhale, roll the hands back onto the mat. Now let's get up into a downward facing dog. So from a tabletop position, maybe your hands are slightly further forward than underneath the shoulders. Lift the knees, press yourself back with bent legs, and lengthen your tailbone up towards the ceiling. From here you can start to lengthen your legs, or maybe walk them, pedaling out. Starting to create a little bit of movement. Now come back to center. As you inhale, lift your heels. Exhale, release the knees back onto the mat. And then inhale, reach your arms up, come up onto your knees. Exhale, lower your hands back into a tabletop position. Inhale, back to a downward facing dog. A big exhale. And then inhale, lift your heels. Exhale, knees come down. Inhale, reach up. Continuing this way, exhale, lower your hands. Inhale, downward facing. A big exhale. Inhale, lift your heels. Exhale, lower your knees. Inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, downward facing. Exhale. Inhale, lift your heels. Exhale, lower your knees down. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, hands down to the mat. Inhale, downward facing. Exhale, staying here. Inhale, reach your right leg up behind you. First, three-legged dog on this side, so let's stay here for a couple of breaths. Trying to find your alignment in the hips. So flexing the foot and pointing the toes down towards the floor. Now starting to lift the left heel off of the ground. Look forward as you bring the right foot to the inside of the right hand. Place the left knee down onto the mat. Relax the top of the foot down. And here you might want to use a couple of blocks underneath your hands. Starting by simply relaxing into your hips. Noticing the sensations. Where are you feeling the tension? And is there a way for you to soften into that uncomfortable feeling? Then with the next exhale, move your hips back. Maybe your right leg doesn't lengthen all the way, that's okay. You might want to walk your hands with or without blocks back somewhat. And then we're gonna start to move a little bit back and forth and between these two poses. So with the inhale, bend the right leg, open up the chest slightly, and then exhale, move back. Keep your tailbone lifted so the back won't round. Inhale forward, exhale back. Flex the foot as you move back. So especially when we start to enter colder seasons, creating a little bit of movement before starting a more intense practice could be a good idea for your joints. Next time we move forward, ground the right foot. So next inhale, reach your arms up. Avoid throwing your back forward here. So you want to find a balance between engaging your core, so keeping a neutral back, and lengthening the left psoas here. Exhale, release your hands back onto the mat. Point your left toes, lift the knee. See if you can move the right leg back, or either downward facing dog, or do a vinyasa with me. Moving forward, exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing. Exhale, downward facing. Next inhale, lengthen your left leg up behind you. Again, try to find that alignment, staying here for a couple of breaths. And then starting to lift the right heel off of the ground, look forward as you bring the left foot to the inside of the hand. Maybe give it a hand if you need to. Move the right knee back as much as you can. Always keep the bent knee above the ankle. Maybe you want to grab your blocks. And then starting to soften into the pose. Maybe there is more tension on this side, or less tension, or it could be more or less the same. Either way, try to stay present with everything that's going on the inside. Then we're gonna start to move back and forth with the next exhale. Move your hips back, flex the foot, maybe walk your hands back a little. And then starting to move. Inhale forward, open the chest, lift the head a little. Exhale back. Move with your own breath. You don't have to go all the way to the limit of the pose. So you don't have to extend the leg as much as you can. Neither you don't have to bend it as much as you can. And this is just to create a little bit of movement. Warming up the joints. Lubricating them a little. Next time we move forward, grounding the left foot, and inhale, reach your arms up. Find that balance again between core and lengthening of the psoas. Maybe press the top of the right foot down a little to remove some pressure from the knee. And exhale, release your hands back onto the mat. Lift the right heel and move the left leg back, downward facing or vinyasa. With the next inhale, let's move forward to a plank position. Exhale, turn both of your heels to the right. You can keep one foot in front of the other. And inhale, reach your left arm up towards the ceiling. So finding side plank here. If you have the balance, look up towards the left hand. And imagining that you want to push the mat forward with the right hand. Keep breathing. Then we're gonna turn to the other side. So look down, gently place the left hand down as you start to turn the heels to the left. And with an inhale, reach the right arm up. And really feel your strength. Look down, exhale, hands move down to the mat. Inhale, shift the weight forward, maybe releasing the knees to the ground. Exhale, come all the way down onto the mat. Move your hands behind you, interlace the fingers. Press the feet down onto the mat. Inhale, lift your chest, move your arms back. Don't lift your head too much. Look down onto the floor, just slightly in front of you. Keep breathing, even if it makes you move up and down. One last breath. So next exhale, release your forehead to the ground. Place the hands beside you. Point your toes, engage your core, and push yourself back into a downward facing. Inhale, reach the right leg up behind you. Exhale, step it through. This time, keep the left knee lifted. Look forward, so maybe lowering the hips a little to lengthen the spine. Finding your balance. Find your foundation, engage the core, and then inhale, expression, reaching your arms up. Warrior one. Next exhale, turn the right heel to the left heel to the right. Sit into a warrior two. Opening up the arms, relaxing the top of the shoulders. See if you can sit a little bit lower. And then creating a little bit of movement here as well. So with the next inhale, we're gonna lengthen the right leg, clap our hands overhead, and then exhale, sit down into warrior two again. Continuing, following your own breath. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, sit into the pose. Move slowly without stopping at any place. Keep in mind your bent knee as you lengthen and bend the leg, that you're not turning it inwards. Last time. So as you inhale, reach up, turn your feet parallel. Exhale, lower your hands to your waist, to your hips. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, you might want to bend your knees as you fold forward with a neutral spine. Place your hands either on a block, on the floor, or if you have more space behind your legs, you might want to walk your hands behind you, underneath you, and kind of push the mat forward. Relax your head. Maybe shifting the weight slightly more towards the toes rather than keeping everything on your heels. Then starting to walk your hands underneath your shoulders, whether that's on the floor or the block. As you inhale, then lengthen. Exhale, draw your navel in as you place your hands back onto your hips. And inhale, come up to standing with a neutral spine. Turn your right foot forward, bend the leg again, open your arms, warrior two. Inhale, inhale, reverse your warrior. Exhale, rotate your arms down. Left hand grounds down onto the mat. We're gonna enter a side plank on the left side, so turning the heel, the left heel to the left. Now you might want to bring the right leg in front of the left foot as we did before, or on top. Reach the right arm up. Now if you want something more, you could start to lift and bend the right leg, maybe placing the hand onto the knee. Trying to open up a little bit towards the ceiling. Then look down, gently place the right hand back onto the mat, downward facing or vinyasa. Inhale, reach your left leg up behind you. Exhale, step it through. Ground your feet, engage your core. Inhale, reach up, warrior one. With the next exhale, turn your right heel to the left, open your arms. Pay attention to your bent knee. Maybe sit a little bit deeper, challenging yourself. Feel the burn. And then starting to inhale, lengthen the leg, hands together. Exhale, sit down into the pose. Following your own breath, continuing to move up and down. Keeping a steady flow. And then next time we lengthen the leg, turn the feet parallel. Exhale, hands to your waist. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, calm down with your hands onto the floor or something else. Maybe walk the hands further behind you and push the mat slightly forward. Release the weight of your head. And then walking your hands back underneath your shoulders with an inhale, lengthen. Exhale, engage your core, hands to your hips. And inhale, come up to standing. Exhale, turn the left foot forward, bend the leg, open your arms for warrior two. Inhale, reverse the warrior. And exhale, right hand comes down to the mat. Really ground the hand. And start to turn the right heel to the right. Place the left foot wherever you placed the right one before. Reach the left arm up. And if you try it on the other side, at least try here as well to lift the leg, the left leg. Maybe placing the hand to the inside or on top of the knee. Trying to open up a little bit more towards the ceiling or the sky. And then look down. Left hand moves back to the mat. Inhale, shift your weight forward. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing. Exhale, downward facing. Now starting to walk your hands back, shifting the weight completely onto your feet, which are hip width apart or with your big toes connected and a little bit more space between your heels. Inhale, look forward, lengthen your spine. Exhale, fold, bending your knees as much as you need to find a little bit of connection between your low belly and your thighs. You could either just relax your arms or maybe grab onto your elbows. Then starting to release your arms, bend your legs even more, and slowly look up in front of you as you find a neutral spine. And inhale, come up to standing, reach your arms up. Exhale, hands in front of your heart. Now lengthen your left leg back, toes up, touching the floor. Engage your core and lean forward. Now start to lift the left foot off of the floor. Engage the core, or keep engaging the core as you lean forward. Open the chest slightly, entering Warrior 3. Look down, gently place your hands either directly onto the mat, maybe on the fingertips as I will stay, or use a couple of blocks. You want to be able to keep a neutral spine. It's okay to bend the right leg. Avoid blocking the knee back. You could choose to stay here, or place the left hand onto the hips. Keep looking down for balance and start to open up to the left. And this is another place where you could choose to stay, or maybe reach the left arm up. Last thing would be to try to gaze to the left or all the way up to the left hand. Then if you reach the arm up towards the sky, place it back onto your hip. If you turn your gaze, look down and gently turn your body back to the mat. Start to bend. You might want to place the left hand down first, then start to bend the right leg as you place the left foot beside the right one. And inhale, come up to a chair pose or Utkatasana. Fire up your inner thighs, make sure that you can see your toes. Otherwise, you want to shift your hips back. Avoid rounding the spine, but also engage the front core. And last breath. And as you inhale, reach up to standing. Exhale, hands to your heart. Now doing the other side, shifting the weight onto the left foot and reaching the right leg behind you. Start to engage your core and lean forward as you then lift the right foot off of the mat. Flexing the foot, the toes points down. And it's okay if you don't enter this full shape of Warrior 3. Try to stay in alignment rather than deepening the pose as much as you can. And then look down and gently place the hands either onto the mat or your blocks. Then if you want, you could stay here or place the right hand to your hips. Starting to open up your hips and your chest to the right. Maybe even reaching the arm up towards the sky. And lastly, you could turn your gaze. Don't worry if you fall. It's completely normal. Then placing the hand back onto your hip, turning the gaze down, turning the whole body back down to the mat, placing the right hand onto the mat or block, really bending the left leg and placing the right foot beside the left one, entering Utkatasana. As you're here, place your hands behind your back, interlace your fingers, and inhale, open up the chest, reach your arms back and down, and exhale, fold your belly and your chest all over your thighs. Relax your head and lift the arms behind you. Keep a small bend in your elbows. And then gently release your hands. As you inhale, look forward, lengthen your spine, Ardha Uttanasana, and exhale, hands comes back onto the mat. Walk them forward, entering downward facing. You could either stay here for a couple of breaths, or lower your knees for Balasana, Child's Pose, or do a vinyasa with me. In that case, inhale to plank, exhale Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing. Exhale, downward facing. And then inhale, let's all look forward, bend the knees, and exhale, either hop or step to cross the legs behind your arms, to sit down onto the mat. And then from here, we're gonna come down in onto our back. You can keep your legs bent. Now arms along the body, walk the shoulder blades underneath you, turn your palms down, walk the feet pretty close to you, keep the feet hip width apart. And with an inhale, lift your hips. Avoid turning your head in this position. You might want to kind of push the mat forward with your feet to create a little bit of an arch in your higher back. Imagining that you're squeezing a block between your thighs, keeping the knees above the ankles. Keep breathing. You can always lower yourself and then come back up whenever you're ready. Last breath. So as you exhale, lower your back down. Bring your knees to your chest, give yourself a hug. Maybe rock slightly from side to side. And now place the left foot onto the mat. This is where you might want to use your yoga belts, but it's completely optional. In that case, you can place the belt behind the ball of the right foot. Then reach the left leg forward, kicking forward with the heel. Then lifting and reaching the right leg up, kicking up with the right heel. The last thing would be to either with your hands or the help of the strap, the belt, bring the leg closer to you. So we want to limit the movement to the hip, to the right hip, avoiding to bring the whole back with us. So really ground the tailbone onto the mat. 2 more breaths. And then starting to let go of the right leg, maybe removing the belt. Place the foot down onto the mat and then lift the left leg. If you use the belt, this is the moment to place it behind the left foot. And then reaching the right leg forward, kicking forward with the heel and kicking up with the left heel, lengthening the leg. And last thing would be to try to bring the leg closer to you without lifting and rounding the back. So you might even notice a little bit of space between your lumbar and the mat. Keep breathing. This could be a pretty intense pose for some people. You might notice the leg shaking. And last 2 breaths. And as you exhale, bend the leg, remove the belt, place it aside, bring both of your knees to your chest, giving yourself one big hug again, and maybe rolling from side to side. And then you might want to find a comfortable position in Shavasana, lengthening the whole body onto the mat. Make yourself comfortable. Turn your palms up towards the ceiling. Maybe taking a deep breath as you then close your eyes, exhaling and letting go of everything. Let your whole body melt down. Keeping a gentle awareness resting on your breath. And start to become a bit more aware of your body again. Perhaps notice all those different points of contact between the body and the mat. And starting to wiggle your toes, your fingers maybe. And in your own time, turn to the right side. Gently push yourself up to a seated position, maybe keeping your eyes closed or almost closed if you can. Find that length in your spine. And let's connect our hands in front of our heart. Bring your intention back to mind. And this time, really feel your intention as it's already yours. Pour emotions into your intention. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. Namaste.